Hello, my friends. It's Manny Rodriguez coming back at you with another episode of Deep True Crime. Here is another update around the GABBY Petito story. I'm sure you've probably been following it as it's one of the most sensational stories ever. And right now it's all over the news every single day. And rightfully it should be. Because Brian Laundrie is still on the run. No one knows where he's at. This guy is doing some vanishing stuff. No one knows where this guy is at. Hey Trish, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. No one knows where this Brian Dirty Laundrie, that is John Walsh's name for him. I'm just following because I think it's friggin' awesome. And no one knows where this guy is at. He is basically pulled a disappearing act. So now day 6 is complete. No one knows where this guy is. They have been searching for him all day as day 6 rolls around.
The only break they have during the...
And so no one knows where he's at. This was today's coverage of searching all over the forest and all over near. They've even moved on from the little conservation area, the Carlton Reserve, and they moved on to another area nearby to see if that's where he may be at. And so here we are. They have finished the day. They've wrapped it up. And so it's only a matter of time before we know more. So on to tomorrow, right? Where day 7 for the search for Brian Laundrie will continue. And so the ground search in the Carlton Reserve has pretty much wrapped up for Friday night. And now some people do continue to stay on the scene. They plan on being back throughout the whole weekend and focusing on areas of more likelihood across the reserve. They're literally, I mean, they're combing that forest as much as they can. And here's the thing, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't think he's there. I think you have a better chance of finding him in Canada than you do in that Carlton Reserve. Here's why I say that. Because I truly believe the parents have helped him disappear. They say we haven't seen him since Tuesday of last week. Tuesday, not this past Tuesday, Tuesday before that. They're saying that they have not seen him since then. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And so now, what is it costing them to do this? And it doesn't matter. I'm sure they'll freaking spend millions and millions of dollars, but this could have all been prevented had they, I mean, did they lie to us when they said, we have eyes on this guy, we know where he's at, whenever we're ready to get him, we can get him? Did they lie to us about that? Like, did they really believe they knew where he was? Or did they just think, well, September 1st, he came back home, he's at his parents', we'll get him when we're ready? Really? And just like that, you guys believe that he wasn't going anywhere? Though no one has talked to Brian himself. He refused to answer any questions. So how do they know he was there when they thought he was there? Because he's not replying. He's not giving any type of question, answering any questions. So, So as of now, the agencies continue to follow this guy all over that they can because they don't know where he's at. They literally don't know where this guy is at because he has been gone all day, all week, almost a month now. If I had to take a guess, I don't even know. I have to go back and think. You know, granted, September 1st was when he came back to Northport, Florida, without Gabby, remind you, because truth is, what did he do? What did he do? We won't know that. We know that there's now an arrest warrant out for him. Not necessarily they wanted to make it clear, his attorney wanted to make it clear They don't have an arrest warrant out for him for the death of her. It's more for the credit card fraud or the credit card use. Now, they haven't specifically said it was her credit card, but they did say there was unauthorized use of a credit card. And so now it remains to be seen what will happen with that and the credit card charges. Now, my guess is they were looking for some type of reason in order to, hey, we got some reason to get him in here and then we can question him. That's my guess on that. That way they can just guesstimate what happened to Gabby Petito. And so it's just a matter of time that the autopsy will come about. But speaking of her death, now her dad, Joseph Petito, has shared that I posted the wrong picture. Of course I did. So her dad has shared that they're having a funeral service, and I'm going to share that here with you guys. Give me 1 second. I thought I pulled that, but I did not. Let me download it real quick. So they're having the funeral service coming up not too long from now, actually on Sunday. And so services for our sweet Gabby will be held at Maloney Funeral Home in Holbrook on September 26th. That's in 2 days from 12 to 5 p.m. Now, where I get, is the autopsy done? Is the autopsy done? They just won't have more information for another week or so? I'm not too sure. I would, if you guys have any idea about that, are they done with the body? Like, help me understand that part, because I thought it'd be a little longer. And I know that the parents of Gabby said, we won't be making any statements until the body comes back home. So my guess is the body's home, and that's why they're having a statement at least for this funeral service. So they're going to have a services for little sweet Gabby at Maloney Funeral Home in Holbrook on Sunday, September 26th from 12 to 5 p.m. And he shares, thank you for all your support and love. This has become America's daughter, because everyone is following this sensational story. Everyone wants to see Brian be brought to justice, and it is definitely a story we all need to follow, especially if you have kids, because it's so easy to trust people. And what breaks my heart the most, they set out on this trip in July. I believe it was in July. They set out on this trip, and now we're wondering what has occurred, right? There's so much that has occurred since then. And so Petito, she's from Blue Point, New York, and she met Brian Laundrie while they were attending Bayport Blue Point High School on Long Island. And me being from New York City, I know exactly how close Long Island is. It's basically in the city. It's in the city, but not like Bronx. It's another borough. Okay? And so they met while attending Bayport Blue High. Bayport Blue Point High. Man, that's a little hard to say. On Long Island in Suffolk County, New York. Now, Gabby graduated from there in 2017. She began dating Brian in March of 2019, and they moved in together with Laundrie's parents, the other dirty Laundries, in Northport, Florida. And this is where a lot of this is coming out, because he went back on September 1st and arrived in her van, remind you, because it is registered in her name. And so they moved in together in March of 2019 down there, and she lived there for a year before they left, right? And so to save money for the trip, Petito, which she was the eldest of 6 siblings, worked in Florida as a pharmacy technician to save up money. Instead of buying an apartment, instead of buying a house, they wanted to save up for this van life. And so Petito and Laundrie, they got engaged in July of 2020. And on June 17th of 2021, they were both in Blue Point for Petito's brother's graduation ceremony. And on July 2nd of this year, they departed from Blue Point in her, make sure we know it's her van that he came back home with. It was a 2012 Ford Transit Connect, and they converted it to a camper for what they were planning, a 4-month cross-country van dwelling trip. And the couple started documenting their trip. You can check out her YouTube account, Nomadic Static, and she also has an Instagram account where she was taking so many pictures of herself and their trip, and the Instagram account is called GABBY Petito, and the other account is bizarre_design_. And it's important because now you go and look, there's a bunch of GABBY Petito accounts, but there was only one that belonged to her, GABBY Petito. Make sure you get that right if you're going to look for it. And his account was bizarre_design_. And so, as you guys know, on August 12th, this year, a witness called the 911 emergency response line claiming that the couple were fighting in front of the Moonflower Community Co-op in Moab, Utah. And so they were seen over there in Moab, Utah. Now, during the call, the witness did tell the dispatcher that Laundrie slapped Petito. And someone raised a really good point. Why wasn't he arrested after this witness account? Why wasn't he arrested at that moment when they did finally pull them over? That's what I don't understand. And so the witness said that Petito and Laundrie were talking aggressively and that Petito was punching him in the arm. Okay? Now, I don't care. I mean, let's be real. She can't hurt him. You know, it was more, and I'm sure it wasn't one of those, let me punch him to hurt him. You know, obviously she has some, you know, she was very emotional. And the witness did say that it looked like Laundrie was trying to leave Petito and take her phone with him. And that's where some of this confrontation went a little further as well. Because if you watch the dash cam, or should I say the webcam from the officer, you can see some scratches on his face. They look pretty fresh. You know, by the end of that, no charges, no one's arrested. In hindsight, you wish he was arrested. You kind of even wish she was arrested. Who cares? She'd be alive today. And that's the most important part, if you ask me. She should be alive today. And somewhere along the line, they dropped the ball. The police dropped the ball somewhere. Okay? And so now the disappearance of her, this is around August 24th, where Petito stayed at a Fairfield by Marriott hotel near Salt Lake City International Airport. And Gabby's mom said that her daughter had told her they were traveling from Salt Lake City to Yellowstone National Park, and she last received a FaceTime call from her around August 24th. And Petito said she was in Grand Teton National Park. And so this is just a matter of time before we get a little more information on that. But multiple eyewitness reports. And this is where it is believed this is the day that she was killed. And I say she was killed. I believe Brian killed her. Am I wrong for believing that? I don't think so. I know that there's more to come out, but I don't think so. And so Nina Seeley Angelo, she claimed that on August 27th, between 1 and 2 o'clock, she saw Brian and Gabby together at Perry Miglett's. Mary, Mary Piglet's, which is a Tex-Mex restaurant in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And honestly, I believe it's August 27th is when she was killed. That's just my thought as I'm following this whole story, as I'm reporting on this whole story. I believe that's the day that it happened. And that's also the day where they had a really big fight. Brian Laundrie even had an argument with the manager, the waitress, and hostess, all of whom were females. Okay, and this is apparently about the money and the bill. And according to eyewitness, and according to the three young ladies, the manager, the waitress, and the hostess, they said he was pretty aggressive. And Angelo, the witness, said that she later saw Petito return to the restaurant crying and apologizing for Laundrie's behavior. So, I mean, my heart goes out to her because she is obviously, who cares about the emotional stuff? Okay, we all have emotions, and sometimes it gets the best of us. It's obvious she has a heart of gold. She goes back and apologizes for his actions, for his aggressiveness. She's a sweetheart. And she was taken way too soon by this coward. And so, between Nina as an eyewitness in that, between Jen and Kyle Bethune, who has a YouTube channel called Red, White, and Bethune, and they have a dash cam video footage of the van, and it's really eerie. If you guys see it on my on one of my videos, I kind of go back, rewind, and I show where you can see the back door of the van closes. It closes as their bus. They actually, Red, White, and Bethune, they drive a bus. There's a family of four, family of five, two, husband, wife, 3 kids, and 4 animals. So this had to be a pretty big bus, right? And this is how they live. They travel a lot. And so they come across it, and you can see as they're passing it, you can see the sandal in the back of the van. You can see the hat on the front. It's just really eerie. And so that was another eyewitness testimony on this. And then Jessica Schultz, she reported to the FBI the activities and the exact coordinates of a slow-moving white van and a man acting weird near the Spread Creek dispersed camping area of Bridger Teton National Forest and Grand Teton National Park on August 26th, 27th, and possibly 28th. And she posted a video on TikTok with her observations about what she came across. And so, according to Schultz, the FBI agent said that this tip was what led them to the body. This is according to Schultz, because this is exactly where it happened. We all know that she was found at Bridger Teton National Forest in Grand Teton National Park. And so if you look at the timeline on this, and someone acting kind of strange around that, that's why I think August 27th is when she was killed. And so that's where I think that's the day she was taken from this world. And so now another eyewitness, Miranda Baker, claimed that on August 29th, she and her boyfriend gave Laundrie a car ride. And the weird part about this, and even she says it's weird, I think it's weird, I'm sure you probably think it's weird, is he offered $200 to take them 10 miles. $200 to take them 10 miles, to take him 10 miles. And for a person who said he's been camping for a few days, he didn't look dirty, he didn't look scruffy, he didn't look beat up. If you've been camping for a few days, you're gonna look a little like you've been camping for a few days, right? And so that was an interesting one on its own. And then recently, and this just came about very recent, I think in the last 24 hours, someone else, Norma Jean Jalovec, claimed that she picked Laundrie up while he was hitchhiking and dropped him at the Spread Creek dispersed camping area. Very interesting as well. And so on September 14th of this month, police seized the van from Laundrie's family home. And that just weirds me out too, because this is registered in her name. I mean, honestly, at the end of this, I wouldn't be surprised if Brian's family is facing some type of charges. Right now, they're not looking like good guys, in my opinion. I understand, protect your cub. Protect, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, they're all about their young ones, right? This is no different. But they're going a little too far covering for this dude. Like, I truly believe they helped him get away. Now they're saying they don't know where he's at. He's missing. He's been missing for this long. And yet no one said anything. Interesting. And so on September 19th, that's when they identified Petito's body. And so they're still searching for Brian Laundrie. And they're still doing everything they can to find him. And it's just a matter of time before something's going to come about, right? What? I have no clue. Because here's the truth. No one really knows. No one really knows. And I do want to share. Her dad is, if you have it in your power, in your means, please support them. Please help them through this. Because here's what you're supporting. And he says it right here. In lieu of flowers for the service, please send donations for the future Gabby Petito Foundation through the Johnny Mac Foundation and you can see johnnymacfoundation.org, or just go find the post and you can follow through with it. And I'm sure they would appreciate any support you can give. Any support would go a long way to help with this foundation. And I don't know what the cause is going to be yet. I'm guessing with a Gabby Petito Foundation, there's going to be a cause behind this. Maybe it's for van life safety. Because someone else shared recently, let me see if I could find that real quick. A young lady was sharing that, let's see here, her experience living the van life, because a lot of us think, oh, how super cool would it be to live the van life? And so, let's see if I could bring this up for you real quick. Yeah. So she was sharing herself what that looks like, right? Like, what does that life even look like to share that? Where is it? Okay, I gotta bring it up. And so here we are, where it's like, where do we go from here, my friends? Where do we go from here? Number one, where is Brian? Where is Brian? I bet that you too want to help find Brian. Do you know where he's at? I'm guessing you don't, because you probably would do the right thing and share. And this morning I reported about an attorney in Florida, a law office in Florida, who has offered a reward. And I am so happy about this, that they would do such a thing, because that makes my heart so happy. So happy, because we want justice for Gabby, don't we, people? We want justice for Gabby. And in order to get justice for Gabby, we need to find Brian. There's no way we can get justice for Gabby until we find Brian. And so this article I came across today about the van life, okay, and the dark side of van life violence. And so she shares her experience. Her name is Nikita Crump, a popular van life blogger, discovered that she had the exact same white Ford Transit van as Gabby Petito. This young lady was sharing. And so she shares here, there's one place that she says, let's see, where does she share this? I was reading this earlier. Right here, she's sharing, people say you're living the dream, you have the best life, and it's like, no, there are struggles. And she's been road tripping for about 2 years and has 1 million followers on TikTok. It's not all happy-go-lucky. And she shares this story. About a year ago, she was shooting a video for BuzzFeed when a sketchy guy appeared to be circling her van and then sidled right up to her and asked for her itinerary. What the heck does he need that for? That's creepy on its own. After finishing the video, she fled while watching over her back. I looked at every single vehicle and person to make sure it wasn't him. I contemplated calling the cops but didn't know if that was dramatic and a waste of their time. In hindsight, I absolutely should have called them. She says this, it gets even worse. More recently, she was traveling with another young woman, Billy Webb, a 22-year-old from Indiana. Hey, I just moved from Indiana 10 years ago. They were both parked in St. Louis. I live in St. Louis now. And Webb forgot to cover the van's windows at night. And this is going to get ugly, people. I'm going to tell you right now, this could be a little trigger. This could be a little trigger. I'm warning you right now before I continue to read this. She was awoken by a knock on the window. This guy takes out his genitals and rubs them against my window, recalled Webb. The two made the quick decision to immediately drive off. It was one of the scariest experiences I've ever had in my life. I bet. Is that not creepy stuff? And so Mondo Artistaz, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Artistaz Mondo, he shares, I think Gabby's last post on IG with Brian caused the trip was going to be over on Halloween, and ironically the post said happy Halloween. Interesting. And so now we are, I mean, the van life is not an easy life. It's a pretty scary life. And so now everyone everywhere is trying to find him. And it's just, my fear is they won't find him. I'm really worried about this. Every day that goes by and I don't see anything in the news that they have found him, it really wigs me out. Because is he this good and no one has seen him? How does that even make sense? Right? How does that even make sense? That blows my mind on its own. Okay? And I got some video footage I wanted to share. A little piece of who Gabby was. She used to work at this restaurant in 2019. Probably part of saving up her money. And they did a little video interview. Here, take a listen.
Just get here anyway. But what's like the first thing that comes to mind when you do anything?
When I think of Mackenzie, definitely empowering. Like, I don't know, she's just so thoughtful. She's very...
Now, she's speaking about someone that works there. Hear how she talks about this person. I mean, you can tell, once again, she has a beautiful heart. She has a wonderful heart. You can tell, hear how she speaks of this other young girl is my guess.
Very quick on her feet and,
That's literally perfect, I just got it. Wonderful, I didn't even know. Okay, what is something that you're excited for the summer?
I love all the events that they do down here in the summer, like Live After 5. I'm excited for all the
It doesn't matter, I'm going to chop them up. So
Okay.
that's perfect. And then I'm going to move in front of you, and now you're going to look at the camera.
Okay.
And you're just going to say, "Happy birthday, Noel."
Okay.
But just wait a second, I'm going to like center it. Okay, ready, set, go.
Happy birthday, Noel.
Perfect.
Okay.
I guess my audio was off and I don't know how long. But good for them, for whoever believes them. So now FAA sets up flight restrictions around Carlton Reserve. And my apologies if you were on there and you don't have any sound. It's back. And so I noticed that I got a little audio streams lower than recommended bit rate. And then I noticed I had no sound. So hopefully you're still there. You know, this is the luxury of doing these things. Nothing's ever smooth, right? Nothing's ever ever smooth. And so now there was a spotting of what someone believed was Brian. I personally don't think it was him. You guys saw this today where someone took a picture of him and they believed that it was him, or it was actually a flight attendant who actually took this picture. And she thought it eerie looked for him. And you know what? I could definitely say that looks like him. I do think that looks like him. I've heard other people say it looks like Chris Watts. I don't think that looks like Chris Watts at all. But that looks like him. And so the search for him continues. We only hope and pray that they find this dude. Because as of right now, there's a good chance he's not coming. They're not going to find him. There's a good chance they will not find him. And so here we are today. And he's been gone 10 days, 11 days. No one really knows. No one really knows. Because if you believe his parents, you're crazy. You're crazy. Who would believe his parents at this stage, right? Who would believe his parents at this stage? Not I. Not I, that's for sure. And so now we're just waiting and waiting and waiting to see, will he show up? I don't know where he's at. I hope someone finds him. But anyway, my friends, thank you for tuning in. I'm Manny Rodriguez, and I will definitely keep you updated. If there's any breaking news, I will definitely be jumping on to share. I'm Manny Rodriguez, and I look forward to serving you again and updating you on all this stuff that we need to know about. My friends, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace. That's dumb.